right, good morning everyone. I guess good afternoon now. How many first-timers to Vegas? Okay, how many first-timers to the summit? Wow, how many first-timers to Vegas and the summit? You guys are in trouble, big trouble. No, it's good to see everyone. We're going to have some fun for the next hour. I'd like to share some good strategies. I've been training affiliates for 10 years now. My wife Arlene and I, sitting on the front row, we got started back in 1999. I've been a full-time affiliate marketer ever since, and it's been just an amazing industry. It's been amazing to watch it grow. Oh, that's not us. There we go. That's us. So one of the things that I like to take a little peek on is how the Affiliate Summit is growing, because I think it's a pretty good indicator on how the industry is doing, because if the conferences are growing, you know the industry is healthy, where you've got a lot of industries these days where the graph is going pretty much the other direction, and there's a lot of conferences and stuff that have fallen by the wayside or are dramatically reduced in their size. So if you take a little peek at these, and we've been to just about all of these conferences, you can actually take a look at it by probably the level of the quality of the hotels that we're in too. So back in 2005, the summit was held at the Riviera in Vegas with 550, and then it jumped over to Bali's for the next 3 years, and then it was into the Rio. So now it's been a nice upgrade to get into Caesar's Palace. Affiliate Summit East of course on the East Coast. We missed the very first one back in 2003. But we did get a chance to attend the 2004 edition, which was a cruise out of New York City from New York to Halifax, of all places, and back to New York. But it was one of the best conferences I'd ever been to. And it was really my kickoff to Summit. Orlando 2006, Miami 2007, Boston 2008, then off to New York City for 2009, 10, and 11. So as you can see, the industry by the graph is very, very healthy. Got back started just 12 years ago now. There's my family, and you can tell by the size of the computer monitor about that's why we use the word circa. One of my very first checks that really got my attention when we were just getting started was $5,502. And it was interesting to us, for those of you that may be looking at this industry as, is this really for real? Can I make money here? That's where we were back in 1999. We were wondering, can we actually make a go of this? And it was an interesting time for us, because we were actually building our business in a little office about 40 minutes out of Vancouver, up in British Columbia, Canada, working for a company, or as an affiliate for a company in California called address.com. We'd never met them before, never talked to them on the phone. Next thing you know, we got a check in our mailbox for $5,500. And when we cashed it, it literally changed everything for us, because now the industry was real. And for those of you, how many have received your very first check in the business? Not too many of you. Okay, well, you're in for a treat when it happens, because all of a sudden things become a lot more real. We live in a little seaside community called White Rock on the west coast of Canada. And if you look in the foreground there, in the far background there, that's a big old volcano. How many of you heard of Mount St. Helens in Washington? She went up about 30 years ago, I guess now. This is the sister volcano to that, called Mount Baker. This is Canada, and that volcano's in Washington State. We survived the dot-com crash. It wasn't easy. Had to sell off the Toyota 4Runner to put some cash in the bank to see if we could do it again. And we did. And then in 2001, I started, and this is actually the Saturday morning session, but I started a live night school style training for those that wanted to learn how to make money with affiliate programs. Wrote the Affiliate Marketer's Handbook in 2002. We host, even to this day, the oldest and longest running podcast in the affiliate marketing industry, called the Affiliate Buzz, on Webmaster Radio every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific, and of course 5 p.m. Eastern. And you can get the archives to the show on jamesmartell.com. Spoke at most of the major events. Had the opportunity to put my dream car in the garage. Hosted boot camps up in the Vancouver area. We've got a coffee talk series of interviews and stuff that we do with experts, all available on my site. If you guys like a lot of free training, really good interviews with guys like Brian Littleton from ShareSale, Sean Collins from Affiliate Summit, and many of the top industry leaders. No charge, it's all on the site. I also host the boot camp, which we're kicking off at the end of January. So, but before we get into, how to make money and some of the tips and strategies, and I really want to give you some solid tips because there's a lot of things that have changed in this industry. Not only, of course, since we got started, but in this last year, 2011, there was a lot of changes that came along with the Google algorithms and Panda and the way things are working. Before we get into that, though, let's kind of get back to some of the basics for those that are brand new, and let's talk about who the people are in the industry. Because I knew when I got started, try to figure out the lay of the land. Who is everybody here? So, of course, in our business, there's 5 major players. There's the advertisers. These are the people that are looking for affiliates. These are the Amazon.coms. These are the banner ads that we're given to put on our websites and the text links. These are the advertisers. They may be somebody like a company like Bluehost.com who is looking for an affiliate. And you can go to Bluehost.com, sign up for their affiliate program, and if you put their links on your website, they click on the link, they go through to Bluehost.com, they sign up, they're going to pay you a commission. So this would be a good example of an advertiser. Another one might be landofnod.com, a little bit, of course, different type of product line, and we can find product lines into the tens of millions of products now. The second player would be us. We would be the affiliates, also known as publishers. Advertisers, anybody know the other word for advertisers? Merchants. We call them merchants. Publishers are also affiliates. So to me, the affiliate side of the business is the most exciting because although we got to work hard, once it's set up, we got a lot less to take care of, and it does give you a lot of freedom in a business that typically doesn't, happen in the real, quote unquote business world, because in our particular case, the customers are taken care of by the advertiser/merchant, whereas publishers, we're simply the go-between. We're the people that are sending the customers to them. So a typical affiliate site might look like something like this. Themeaparty.com. This is a website put together by Chris Molnar up in Saskatchewan. Beautiful little website where he's just come up with party ideas based on any type of theme that you could possibly think of. And kids' birthdays, themes for teens, by holiday, TV, movie themes, sports themes, and so on. So if you're looking to put a party together, he put a little website called Themeaparty. Now on the site, of course, when somebody comes to the site and clicks through to the merchant and makes the purchase, then of course he gets paid a commission. Simpler site might be Yoga Flavored Life. This is Charlotte Bradley, who is big time into yoga. It's a passion of hers, so she put together a very successful website about that, and she refers those off to merchants as well. Then, of course, we've got the affiliate networks. Who can name off some affiliate networks? What was that? Share a sale, okay. ClickBank, Commission Junction, LinkShare. Remember when we got started, there was roughly 3 majors. There was Commission Junction, LinkShare, and Reporting.net. Commission Junction, Reporting.net ended up getting bought by ValueClick. They became one. But today, we've probably got a couple hundred affiliate networks to choose from. This is the third-party website, the third-party company that sits between the affiliate and the advertiser. These guys provide the third-party infrastructure and the tracking so we can rest assured that we're going to get paid. Typically, you can go to a site like Share a Sale or Commission Junction. You can sign up for free as an affiliate, and then you can apply to the various advertisers or merchants to represent their programs. So that's number 3. Number 4 is a relatively newcomer to the industry. We have any agencies in here? Any OPMs? None? Okay, so they'll be sitting in the other sessions. Agencies is an outgrowth of the growth of the industry because all of a sudden you've got all of these advertisers and merchants coming on board, and they need people to manage their programs, to take care of the affiliates, to make sure everything's on track. So the agencies are natural at doing that, and what they'll be doing is trying to recruit you to represent the advertisers that they're representing. So a typical one would be Brook Shaft Partner Centric. There'd be a number of others. I'm surprised we don't have any in here. Can't plug any of them. Of course, GTO Management in the background. Another great agencies. And of course, the 5th player that makes it all work, of course, is the customer, the person that actually visits the website, clicks on the link, goes through to the merchant, makes the purchase. Advertiser's happy because they just made a sale. We're happy because we got paid a commission. And the customer's happy because they found the product they were looking for. Different types of affiliate models. There's lots of ways to make money in this industry, which on one hand is a good thing, on the other hand it's a bad thing because it can be quite confusing. So let's just go through a few of them. So you've got the affiliate model number one, which would be a coupon site. And you'll probably recognize some of these. It'd be a site like freeshipping.org where you can go find a coupon. Many visitors, surfers will go out and look into Google and they'll take the product name and then they'll type in coupon code. They'll find the coupon code, then they can come to a website like this, or a merchant sometimes directly, and then they can type in the coupon code and they get a discount. Of course, on a website like this, they're representing the merchants that you see on the screen there, and then they'll get paid every time somebody activates and uses one of those coupons. Shopping comparison sites is another big one, where you can come in, and if you're looking for a digital camera, they've taken the time to go through and sort out all the different digital cameras by brand, by model, by style, by type, and everything that you would want to know about purchasing a digital camera. And a lot of times when they do shopping comparison, they'll provide you with the prices, where you will see if you buy it at Amazon, you're going to pay this. If you buy it at Barnes & Noble, you'll pay this, and they'll give you the different breakdowns. And of course, this would be an affiliate, and every time that purchase is made and it's pushed through to the advertiser, that affiliate would earn a commission. And you can see some of the breakdown of the pricing there. The niche review sites. This is probably my favorite. This is where we've made our money over the years, is developing simple little niche websites where we review products based on a very specific industry. One of my favorites, this is Deborah Liddell. She's a herbal nutritionist, and in her particular case, she represents a company called Blendtec. How many of you have seen the videos, Will It Blend, where they've got a really high-speed blender. It's a riot on YouTube. You should check it out. Because they'll blend everything just to prove their blender will blend it. So if you've got an iPad, they'll blend it for you. If you've got an iPhone, they'll blend it. If you've got a golf club, in it goes. And it's a riot. But in their case, it's about a $450 blender, and they pay a $90 commission. And of course, in Deborah's case, she reviewed the Blendtec blenders, and it ties perfectly into her practice because she's a herbal nutritionist and she recommends blending. And you can see the Blendtec blender reviews. All right, so there it is there. Loyalty sites, another way to make money. Fat Wallet's a good one, where if you go to Fat Wallet and you make a purchase, they will give you cash back, similar to a credit card offer. Email list is probably one of the bigger ones, and I know in the last session when Vinny was up talking about how many people have an email list, we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit, but it's really a good way to go. No matter what type of website you have, you should really focus in on building out a list for many, many reasons. But there are some affiliates that build out their businesses solely, and the only thing they have, a lot of them don't even have websites. They will purely go with an email list and recommend products that way. Podcasting sites is something that I've done for many, many years. We kicked off the Affiliate Buzz podcast. We actually recorded it in a hotel room in Maui back in 2002, 3 years before they even coined the phrase podcast. And we actually just recorded show number 232 or something back in Maui 2 weeks ago. So it was kind of a full circle for us. We've been there a few times since. But podcasting is something that a lot of people make the knee-jerk reaction is never considered it. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not going to get on a microphone. I don't like my voice. And meanwhile, if I twist their arm a little bit and get them going on it, Arlene's a good case in point. Podcasting can be a highly effective way to build a business and to drive tremendous amounts of traffic and to get the visitors to get to really know who you are and what you're about and what your product lines are about or what the products you're representing are about. So here's one here. There's another one where we just go in and we interview various people. And then there's another website. We'll probably close maybe with this one as far as the types. But there's the hybrid sites, and these are actually getting to be much more fun. And you may want to consider this because there's, as we said, there's many ways to earn revenue in affiliate marketing. But this one has really proven out to be very solid because you're diversified within your one site. And this is a website developed by a gentleman out of California named Don Campbell. And it's an interesting site because he makes money with affiliate programs here. That's how it started. He actually represents Bluehost. So every time he recommends Bluehost to a client who clicks on the link, goes to Bluehost, and makes a purchase. He earns a $90 commission. So that's one. He then decided to develop his own WordPress theme for small business, which he's done very well with. So now when somebody comes along and purchases a WordPress theme, he makes a commission. He's also got a members area for those people that are building out the themes and want some help, $47 a month. He earns a commission on that. And then he's got a few other ways he's monetized it as well with courses and stuff that he does for small businesses. So a lot of creative people in the room, I would presume. And so just keep an open mind when you're looking at the various models. You can blend them together. You can mix them a little bit. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can start like Don did as an affiliate, and then you can build upon it. Here's actually a student of ours, Dan Maynard. He's got a website called Piano Keyboard Reviews. He's been playing the piano now for over 40 years, and it's natural for him to put a site together. So if you've got a topic, a passion, a hobby, something that you're really interested in, that you know a lot about, don't overlook it as a potential topic idea for a site that you might want to put together, because as with Dan, which this is a natural for him, he's a big fan of playing the piano. He knows a lot about it. He teaches on it, and he put together a little website where he refers those people who are looking to purchase a keyboard for themselves or for a gift off to he recommends where they can go buy, and he really gives them the straight goods on what they need to do. He's come up with a little thing called 5 piano player styles, so he really digs into it for them because he really knows the topic. In his particular case, here would be a review, and then you can see a little link in there, the Yamaha P85, and down it goes. There's a link off to, I believe, his merchant's Amazon. A little bit of revenue from that website. This was taken December 1st, 2010 to December 20th, 2010. So this would be basically 3 weeks leading up to Christmas. Total items shipped, 301. Revenue, 24,000. Advertising fees, 1777. Total third-party items shipped. Amazon's a very interesting company. Although they don't pay a lot of commission, when people go to Amazon to buy something, they usually fill up their shopping cart. And they buy all kinds of things. So you can see there's another 18,000 in revenue, 1,382 in fees. So commission total just for those 3 weeks on a relatively new site, small site, not a lot of pages on it, $3,114.73. So the real key to the business is making sure you pick the right products to sell. Because if you're going to pick products that don't sell, they're probably not going to make you a lot of money. So let me share with you 5 really solid tips to choosing profitable products. Number 1 is you want to find a product that has a decent price point. If you're earning a 10% commission on a $10 product, you're making $1 a sale. If you're earning a 10% commission on a $300 product, you're making $30 per sale. And it doesn't normally take any more work to sell the one product versus the other, because you still have to set up everything and you still have to build the traffic. Now, the other product, you might sell more of them, so maybe there's a volume in there. But typically, we found you want to find a product that's got a decent price point, and we look to a minimum of $150, but this one would be better at $349.95. So cost is number 1. Number 2, if you can find a product that's a well-known brand, you're already over a major stumbling block with having to sell that visitor on the brand, because if they already know it. I know Bose here has been advertising up in the Vancouver area all through Christmas, all through right up until we left. They've got a big promotion going on, but it's a well-known, recognized brand by many. So find a product that's got a well-known brand. If you can find that product that also has great product reviews, because remember, when they click on the link on your site and they go through to the merchant to make a purchase, if they get there and everybody's saying, no, don't buy this product, it's terrible, it's horrible, it's bad, versus in this case where they've got a very high user rating and review after review after review of everybody liking and loving the product, then you know when you send a customer there or a potential customer there that there's a good likelihood that you have or good opportunity to make a sale. So number 3 is find products that have great customer reviews that you already know they're happy. The customers are happy that have bought that in the past. Number 4 is if you can find a reputable merchant, a big merchant, a brand name merchant as well, that would be helpful. Companies like Amazon or a household name. People are not worried too much about pulling out their credit card here. Amazon also does an amazing job, as I said earlier, of upselling, filling up that shopping cart, and you get paid on whatever they put in that cart, you get paid on. And number 5, you want to make sure people are actually looking to purchase the product, that you've got some decent search volume. And Vinny mentioned Google AdWords keyword tool in the last session. It's a great tool. It's free. Just do a Google search for Google AdWords keyword tool, and you can type in the keyword phrases, and you can get some reasonable ideas as to how many people are looking for it, what kind of trends are, and then you can see all the keyword phrases that people are typing in this case for the Bose Wave Radio. So number 5 is search volume. There it is, a little bit bigger there. So you can see different keywords: Bose Radio, Bose Wave Radio, Bose Wave Radio CD, Bose Wave Radio 2, and all the way down the list. And then you could see, if you were to add up all the searches, global and local, there's lots of searches there, more than enough for me to build a page of content around this particular topic. Then you want to have a quick look at the competition, see how competitive it is, but there's hardly a product in the industry, unless you're going after something like credit cards or mortgages or something that's incredibly competitive, which I wouldn't recommend, because it's not necessary. You can find your nice little niches and sit there and develop a beautiful website and earn revenue for years from it. So my top 5 website development strategies. Number 1, if you're looking for a content management system to build your website in, you could probably save yourself a whole bunch of time and just use WordPress. How many people in the room already use WordPress? Good. It's a great content management system. Arlene and I, we are just about ready to publish. This is her website, epilepsymoms.com, and you can see it says /makeover. We're almost ready to cut it live, but we did a major upgrade from Drupal, which I don't recommend, into WordPress. And WordPress is a great content management system. All of our sites are for the most part, WordPress sites now, or I wish they were. Tip number 2, and probably one of the biggest tips that I can give you, is build pages, not websites. One of the biggest mistakes people make, they'll come to me, James, my website's not ranking. Well, the first thing we need to understand is Google doesn't rank websites. Google ranks web pages. Every web page on your site will get an individual ranking. It'll sit in the results all by itself. It'll get its own page rank. So you want to build pages, not websites. And you focus in on developing a great page. A lot of affiliates make a lot of money with just 2 or 3 pages of content. There's a big fallacy out there that you got to just continually crank out content, and it's not true. There's some advantages to steady, ongoing, fresh content, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to figuring out the pages that you're going to make your money on, you want to build pages, not sites. You really want to focus in at the page level and build a great site, or build a great page. You can see here in this particular case, this is on a website called itpaystobeprepared.com. This is a car survival kit. So I guess if you're stuck in a snowstorm somewhere and you're off the road and you're basically in trouble, you'd want to have a kit like this in your car. But you can see on this page, it's a very clean page, very well written review. You can see you got the author up on the right hand corner. You've got no sidebars. You've got no distractions. There's nowhere they're going to be clicking off another blog post or heading off somewhere off on the site or off-site. A little bit of credibility built in the page because the United States Navy uses it proudly. They also supply some arms of the Red Cross right down to the bottom, and there's very few distractions on the page. So one of the biggest mistakes people make, and I see some of the super bloggers out there, don't copy the big super blogs because they don't convert worth anything. They make their money through their email lists. And a lot of affiliates will go look at a big website from a big blogger and they'll copy it. And it's got 18 banners down the right-hand side. And I can guarantee you if you were to measure it and track it, that's not where they make their money. These are the type of pages that make money on the internet. So tip number 3 is avoid clutter at all costs. And it's the great thing about WordPress and these content management systems, it's really easy to turn things on and fill up your columns. The bad thing about these content management systems, it's really easy to turn things on. So nothing will kill your conversion faster than starting to add all kinds of things to the bottom of the site, Some of these new WordPress blogs where you've got the 3 columns at the bottom, then you've got another bar, you've got double column down the right-hand side, avoid them like the plague. You want to have a website that's got a simple white background, black text, just like standard typography for 100 years, 200 years. You want to keep the columns clean and free of clutter. And number 4 is add you to the site. We're well past the day of the anonymous affiliate website. You want to make sure you are up front and center on the website. How many of you would be nervous to put your face on your header graphic? Okay, how many have your face on your header graphic? Okay, about the same split. I remember when I wrote the Affiliate Marketer's Handbook back in 2002, the editor that I was working with begged me for a month to put my face on the cover. And I was just like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Every day for almost a month. Finally, I agreed to do it. It wasn't so bad. I'm still here. And it's not. And people do want to know who they're dealing with. They really do. They want to see your smiling face on the header graphic. When we do trainings, it's the biggest pushback I get is you got to put your face on the header graphic because people do want to know who they're buying from. If you're writing a review, you really want to know who wrote the review, who they are, and a picture can tell a lot right away. This example here, this is Jane Warren. Her website, Towable Twos Direct. Very successful affiliate. We had her in our conference room the other night. She's a big traveler. She's got a private residence down in the Grand Caymans. She's just spent 3 weeks in France. She was 10 days in the Maldives, which is a beautiful place. And she got it right off the bat. She put her smiling face up in the header graphic. If you click on the About the Editor blog, you'll see she's got pictures of her and her girlfriends out working with these towable tubes in this particular case. So she really clued into it quickly that people really do want to know who you are when they're on your site. And there's lots of ways you can do it. Put your smiling face in the header graphic. Definitely have an About Us page. Use your name when you write an article. You can get a little icon, a little gravatar, so every article has your face beside it. Any way you can to include yourself in your own blog or your own site, you'll do so much better because people can get to know you really quickly. And Vinny said it earlier, it's all about trust. Tip number 5 for building sites, automatic updates. There's a little feature, and maybe write this one down. Aweber is probably the most popular email management software program out there. Everybody should have an Aweber account. And they've got a feature in there called RSS to email. And RSS to email is simply every time you add a post to your website, you can set it up in such a way that automatically it goes out to your email list. Because I know everybody in here is probably busy. And to say, okay, I'm going to send out a weekly newsletter or a twice-a-month newsletter is really easy to say, real difficult to follow up and make sure it happens. You can go good for 3 to 6 weeks, then you miss a couple, and then the thing starts to trail off. Happens all the time. With the Aweber RSS to email feature, that doesn't happen because what happens here is when you add a post to your site, you can set it up to go out automatically in your newsletter to your subscribers, or you can set it up every time I post 4 or 5 updates on my site, automatically package that up and send it out, or every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. You can set a time and a date, weekly or monthly or twice a month, whatever you want. So it'll take that content that you're already adding to your website, and it will send it out to your entire list without you having to do anything other than set it up and make sure you're adding that fresh content. Top 5 free traffic building strategies. Arlene and I build our entire business on just these. And there's a million ways to build traffic, and you can't do them all, so you got to pick some. And you don't need them all, which is probably the good news. Our number 1 strategy still to this day is Google Natural Search. It's free. You got to roll up your sleeves and get busy and learn how to get it done. But it's not that difficult to build high rankings in the search engines. Some people say it's scary, and it's not. It's not that difficult. If you're producing real content, which we'll talk about in a moment, and you're not playing any games and you're focused on visitor first, search engine second, you won't run into trouble with the search engines. So in this particular case, you're seeing piano keyboard reviews. Depending on the data center, you'll probably still see down 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere in there, depending where you do a search for his website, and hundreds of other keyword phrases. Backlinks is something that is highly important to getting highly ranked in the search engines. And it's something that a lot of people will miss, because there's really only two things you need to do in this business, in my opinion, to make great money at it, is you build out great content that's focused on helping your visitor, and then building great backlinks into those pages of content that you've worked on. Google's algorithm is based entirely, for the most part, in very simplest terms, on analyzing the other pages out on the internet that are linking to your pages. It's really not so much what your page is about. It's got to be good content. It's got to be well written, well researched. If you can cite a few references in there, perfect, and get the page out and focus on your visitor. But that's only step number one. Step number two is to get other people linking to that page, other quality, reputable websites linking back to that page. And you do that through backlinking. Number two, another real simple strategy. I'll give you an example of it right now. That it's not expensive, it's not difficult, and it's very often overlooked in the affiliate industry. The merchants do it all the time. The good merchants do this all the time and send out press releases. I'll give you an example. PR Web's probably a website you should write down, because you can submit your press releases here. There's lots of so-called free press release websites, but I would recommend staying away from those, because primarily they're just a glorified article directory, and you don't want to get into that game. So in Arlene's case, she was kicking off a webinar with a doctor that she was going to be interviewing, and the site at that time was absolutely brand new. She had no traffic, nobody was coming to it, because we just launched it. And she wanted to get some people in, so we put a little page together, which was basically a little press release with also a little place where people could opt in. Sent it off. She had room for 125 people in the conference room, and she filled out about half of it. She then took that same press release, and this is kind of the sleeper, and she packaged it up, did it the old-fashioned snail mail. How many have ever used press releases in their business before? A few of you? Okay, quite a few. And she just literally went to the stationery store, bought the envelopes, put the labels on it, photocopied all the press releases and the supporting stuff, packaged them up, put them in the envelopes, mailed them off. Cost about $50 to get all the newspapers, radio stations, and television stations in the greater Vancouver area. Within a week, she's on the front page of the Peace Arts News. The whole cover, they dedicated the whole cover to her, plus another page and a half on the inside. This not only filled up the rest of her conference, which is interesting, because you figure the PR Web covers the whole internet, and that did half. This little local newspaper filled up the other half. So don't forget about your local markets when you're representing your products and services, because there's a lot of opportunity that's not being taken there. There's the other page, and then there's another quarter page as well, and there's our son Adam. Podcasting is a traffic strategy, I would say probably at least half to three-quarters of it, depending on your topic, you should seriously consider. We wouldn't have the business we do today at all if it wasn't for the podcast that we kicked off back in 2002 and then launched in 2003. It's such an amazing way to get into the marketplace, and affiliates, you should do this. You should really do this. Don't make the knee-jerk reaction thing, I can't podcast. It's really not that complicated, and there's so many tools, and it's so easy. Now, when we did our first one back in 2002, to record an audio over the phone was hard. And then we had to take the audio, we had to have a low-band version, a high-band version, remember, because we all were on dial-up, and then we had to also give them a zip file so they could download it. Today, pretty much everybody's on high speed, and even the few that are on low speed is still pretty fast. So, but the thing with the podcast is, if you're using WordPress or one of the content management systems, or you pick up an RSS feed, you can take your podcast feed, which is just a little URL, and you can pop around to websites and just drop in the little URL, and then every single time you update the podcast on your own site, all of the websites that you've updated, that all have audiences of their own, your podcast is updated automatically. So in this particular case, this is called Blueberry, and there's our podcast there, number 232, taking a breakation from business. This was us in Maui 3 weeks ago, and we updated the site on jamesmortel.com, and these other sites get updated. And then you can see here the podcast in below. iTunes gets updated. So all of a sudden, these little mobile devices that everybody has, how many has a phone in your pocket today? Everybody, pretty much, probably for the most part. automatically all the little devices, everybody that's subscribed gets updated. So if you've got a topic idea that you could come up with a show once a week, twice monthly, something you can get into consistently, there's probably not an easier, faster way to get the word out about you and your website and your products and services than there is through podcasting, because in addition to these sites that I showed you, we've got this podcast set into 30 other podcast directories. So every time we do a weekly show and update the site, all of those websites get updated automatically. So we don't even have to do any additional work other than the initial setup, which took only a few hours and didn't cost anything. Traffic strategy number 4, and personally to me, all of these strategies are a must. Email list building has got to be a major part of your business. You have to focus in on that. I was amazed when we were looking for a place to go stay in Maui. We use a little website called Vrbo, VRBO. If you're looking for vacation rental by owner properties, amazing website. You can find amazing places to stay anywhere in the world, and it's amazing. But what I couldn't believe is as many of these people that we were talking to, not one of them asked me my email address. Hey, do you mind if I add you to my little Maui newsletter? I'd have said yes in a heartbeat. I love Maui. So I would have took that up in a second. Not one of them. In fact, we walked into a realtor's office because we were looking at the possibility of buying one of these little condos over there. And we're talking to the realtor, had a great conversation with her. She didn't even ask me for our contact information. So, which was stunning to me from a salesperson. But in our particular case, there's no excuse for us not building a great email list. So Arlene and I spend a great deal of time making sure we've got good little offers out on the net, reasons for people to subscribe. This one here is just, we've got an affiliate marketing answer book. People come in and subscribe to it for free. They get a little ebook. In this case, Arlene's got a little free epilepsy report for moms who are dealing with kids with epilepsy. This is a great site, by the way, on a side note. And what the tagline says, when our son Adam was 4 years old, he was having 200 to 300 seizures a day. Today he's 20 years old and has been drug and seizure free for over 10 years. Although this site does make money, the best thing about this site, and the thing with what you're learning in the business and what you're learning on building websites and developing traffic, and Arlene's got a wonderful podcast on here, finally convinced her to do it. She's got 7 shows on there, 7 little 30-minute shows that have been downloaded 75,000 times. So this is the kind of reach you can get. But in this particular case, because of the site she put together, there's now 12 other kids that we know of out on in the world that are now seizure-free. Traffic building strategy number 5, YouTube. Second largest search engine in the world. Doesn't get near the attention it should. And it's a great way to build traffic. And I did a little experiment with my car. My son Justin took us out, or followed us around in his car, and we did some video of me hot running around town. Being good, but you can see here, 35,000 views. This is Arlene taking the car out. No, this is Justin taking the car out for a drive. 29,000 views. This one, in fact, if you do a search on YouTube now for Shelby Cobra, you'll find this one in the top 3 or 4. And it's got 360,000 views or something. So we got lots of videos on YouTube. It's a tremendous way to build traffic to your websites. And we're not talking about expensive video. We're talking about little video cameras. A lot of our cell phones will do it now, and getting some decent little video online and optimizing it as if you would a great page of content. Get your keyword phrase in the title tag. In fact, if you want to learn how to optimize YouTube video so it ranks highly, just give Arlene your business card and I'll give you an audio where we talk about all of the little things you need to know. It's not rocket science, you just go down the list. It's pretty simple to do. And then you can get your YouTube's videos ranking. But again, it's just simple little video cameras. We don't need a Hollywood production here to do extremely well in YouTube. And again, second largest search engine. Forget about Yahoo, forget about Bing. Sorry guys. Google and YouTube. Traffic building strategy number 6. One that I struggled with a little bit early on, and I really wasn't a big fan of it, but I like it now. It's good. It's a great way to build traffic. We've built a fair chunk of traffic to it. I must say I'm not full on it, but it's still, for many, many businesses, it's a perfect way to go. So take a look at what you're doing. Now we were talking with Stan and Deb earlier with Stan, and he's got a business, and he's wondering about Twitter and how it should go. Every business is slightly different, I think, when it comes to some of the social media. I've got a website called kitcarconnection.com, compared to my affiliate marketing training site, where we're dealing with affiliates and people more net savvy, who Twitter and Facebook and all this stuff is pretty simple. Dealing with the car guys, they don't care about Twitter or Facebook. They could care less. They don't know how to upload a photo. It's just not what they do. So every industry is slightly different. You need to have a little look at that. Arlene, of course, Epilepsy Moms. Facebook is another one. Little experiments I did a while back. I put a site together for Carol Shelby, who is the originator of the Shelby Cobras. Actually, they're based out of Vegas here. And you can see here, let's see if I can see it. Just looking for the total subscribers. But it's ridiculous. With the Shelby one, it's something like 5,000 subscribers. How many remember the show Overhauling with Chip Foose? I put a little page together. This page has something like, and you can look it up on YouTube, 35 or 40,000 subscribers to it now. So the traffic is there. It's just a matter of digging in and using it. Getting close to doing a little Q&A here. So top 3 strategies to keep your visitors coming back. And you'll notice some of this stuff repeats. RSS to email, as we talked about. So if you've got a little email list building, it's 1,000 people, and you send out an email once a week, and 10% come back, that's 100 people a week. If you've got 10,000 people on your list, that's 1,000 people a week. That's 4,000 a month. If you work on conversion, maybe get it up another 5%, the numbers go. So number 1 strategy to get people coming back is invite them back through their email. I did an interview with Ryan Alice, who's a 26-year-old VP and co-founder of iContact, which is a direct competitor to Aweber. And he said a stat to me in the interview that was, James, if you don't get them to subscribe to your list when they visit your website, 70% of the people that visited your site today, you will never see them again. You got one chance at it, and they're gone. And if you think about the opportunity loss, if you've got 100 people a day coming to your site, that means 70 of them, you're never going to see them again. You start doing the math on that over a month and a year, it gets to be a little scary. Number 2, podcast. Great way, of course. Every week we do, the email goes out, new podcast in. Everybody that's interested in it comes back in and grabs their copy of it. And number 3 is just be helpful. Really simple. Focus on your visitor. Forget about everything else when it comes to creating content. Of course, you got to do a little SEO and all that, but primarily focus on your visitor first, search engine second. 3 quick analytic tools that you should have in your arsenal. Google Analytics, of course, is free. And so Google Analytics doesn't get the credit it really deserves. I was at PubCon, which is Webmaster World's PubCon. It's a search engine conference here in Vegas every year. You should go to it. It's amazing. About 3 years ago, and Google just announced that they'd bought Urchin. Maybe it was 4 years ago. And they bought Urchin for $30 million. And this is the software that they bought with Urchin. And Urchin used to sell this software in a much lesser form 4 years ago before Google got to it. And they used to charge their clients a minimum of $1,500 a month to use this software. Google Analytics is free to us, and it's way more powerful than it ever was back then. So number 1, get Google Analytics on your site. If you're using WordPress, it's as simple as dropping a little code into a box. Crazy Egg is a cool little heat map that you can see what visitors are doing on the pages. So it's another little tool that will give you some insight as to when the visitors arrive, what are they doing? Are they leaving? Are they confused? Are they clicking on images that don't have a click that they can't do? What are they doing? And then ClickTail takes that to a whole new level. This actually videotapes the visitors that come to your page, and you can see what they're doing. You can see, it's amazing to watch them. And they've got a little free version of it in here where you can put the little code on 1 or 2 pages on your site, and they'll do 400 videos for you. So you can get a really good idea of what your visitors are doing, what they're looking at, what they're skipping by, what they're clicking on, what they're not clicking on. And ClickTail is amazing. So 10 real quick tips to get your business on the right track. Number 1, give yourself some time to succeed. It took Arlene and I a little while to get our heads around this. We made a lot of mistakes up front. Still learning today. It never ends. It's always ongoing, changing. But give yourself, if you're brand new to the industry, Give yourself some time to succeed. Get your head into it. Don't think it's going to happen in a month or two. Pace yourself. Get some decent training in. There's lots of great podcasts. Go to geekcast.fm. Our podcast is there, but also there's about 30 other podcasts of many of the people that are at this conference speaking today. Their podcasts are there, and they're all free, and they're great. Geekcast. Geek cast.fm. Not com, but .fm. Build yourself a virtual team. So one of the biggest, probably the biggest mistake people make coming into this business is they have the false impression that they got to do everything themselves. And what I'd recommend that you do is try to do as little of it as absolutely possible, because there are great people out there that'll do this for you very inexpensively. So do we have anybody in here that's a professional writer or a professional graphic designer? Okay, so maybe over in the back. First of all, what's your discipline, and how long did it take you to learn it? And how much schooling? Okay, so self-taught? Okay, so how much time? Okay. Okay, great. Graphic designers. Any graphic designers? Okay, in the far back there, how much schooling? 5th year. Okay. So the point here, and thank you from both of you. The point here is, if you're not a graphic designer, don't become a graphic designer. Hire a graphic designer. If you're not a professional writer, especially today, Google did some major updates last year called Panda, and I like it because Google has finally gotten to the point where they can actually index real content. So you can truly focus in on your visitor. You got to do a little light SEO, but really you're focused on your visitor. And if you're not a professional writer, unless you sit down to plan and learn how to become a professional writer or a graphic designer, and you plan to put the time in to really do it right, don't waste your time. Because you can't do it all. I had the good fortune of coming from the general contracting business. I was a carpenter, then I became a general contractor. And I was used to hiring plumbers and electricians and all the sub-trades. So when I got into this business, the only challenge I had is there was no sub-trades because it was so early on. It was hard to find a graphic designer who knew anything about the internet. It was hard to find a video guy or an audio guy because they were so used to working $200 an hour in more of a Hollywood-style setting. So plan to find yourself a graphic designer, a good writer. Build yourself a virtual team. And learn how to outsource. Outsourcing is something that is the whole cornerstone of our business. Arlene and I outsource just about everything. We've outsourced over 500 projects through a service called Elance. And my entire day when I'm working is I'm focused on working out with my service providers, making sure they're creating the content, the articles, the videos, the audios, everything that we need for our business. I'm overseeing it, they're doing the work, and you'd be surprised at how inexpensive it is. So I actually have an outsourcing audio. If you'd like a copy of it, just let Arlene know and we'll get that out to you. Because it really is people don't spend enough time on it. Here's a little rule that I use. 15-minute rule. If I'm working on something, because people will waste days on the problem. If I'm working on something, whether it's technical or doesn't matter, and I can't fix it or solve it in 15 minutes, I take the next 15 minutes to outsource it. And I use Elance and I use vWorker. Elance.com, highly recommended. vWorker also a little lesser, but still great. Give you an example. Jay Schwa, who's a student of ours, was working on solving a little problem he was having with WordPress. Spent hours on it. Was in the chat forum chatting with it. Met us in the online conference room for a Q&A, working on this problem. Finally, I said, Jay, have you tried outsourcing this? He went to vWorker, posted a project to vWorker. Guy came in, $12 was the bid, was fixed in an hour. Done. And Jay literally wasted hours on it. That's the other thing. It's not expensive. Become a student again. Don't be a hacker in the business. Go learn the business. Figure out, there's only a certain number of components we need. We need to know how to build traffic. We need to know how to build content. And we can do all that through outsourcing, but we need to know how it fits together. So plan to do some time doing some real studying. Go to Geekcast, listen to those podcasts. They're great. Get a little, MP3 player if you don't already have one, and get your head into the game. Set goals. good time of year for that, beginning of January. Where will your business look 1 year from now? If you come back to Summit next year, what's your business going to look like? On that topic, Zig Ziglar. How many know Zig Ziglar? Love Zig Ziglar. He's got a goal-setting course that's basically 7 steps, and it's a beautiful course. So you could probably buy it on Amazon for $10-20. If you want a good goal-setting course that's really practical and really works well, go get that course. Number 7, promote, promote, promote. Once your site is up and finished and you've got everything organized, your next entire focus is to promote the traffic on that site. Promote traffic to that site. Track and measure. We talked about some analytic tools a little bit ago. This Google Analytics, they'll tell you everything you need to know and then some. My wife kills me for this one. Work hard and play hard. So this is Arlene on a little cruise ship, big cruise ship last year. We do a lot of trips and travel. Beautiful thing about the business is you can take your laptops with you. We went to Maui for 8 days. Just before Christmas, she's got a little laptop that's this big, and I got my normal one. And we pop into a little internet cafe, and we sit down. I'll work for an hour, and then off we go to the beach. Drove the road to Hana, came all the way around the backside. Our outsourcers are doing the work. Our laptops are there just to go in. When I go into the internet cafe, I'm not writing articles and stuff. I'm working with my team to make sure that they're doing the work. So if you work hard, play a little bit hard. Here she is there. And you can find, if you don't want to bring your laptop with you, you can find internet cafes everywhere nowadays. Funny thing with Maui, when we did the original podcast, there was no dial-up even in the hotel. We had to go to the internet cafe. When we went back to Maui in 2005, now the hotel had dial-up, but the internet cafe had wireless. When we just went back there a couple weeks ago, our hotel had wireless. Everything's got wireless, including the internet cafe. But you can find, this is on a cruise ship. You can find internet access anywhere. And the other thing with this is no hocus pocus, just focus. It's really a matter of just building out your site. Big strategy I can share with you. How many websites do you need to really succeed in this business? One. Many people have too many websites. Myself included, came out of a different era, and we've pruned it down a lot. It was the smartest thing that we've done. But get focused on succeeding with the business. No hocus pocus, just focus. Okay, so let's open it up to a Q&A. What do we have for time? We got about 9 minutes here. Yeah. Should we, excuse me, just one second. I think we should probably use the mic because they're going to capture that. So if you wouldn't mind just popping back to the microphone.
Hi. I just had a quick question. When I look at the little sites like the epilepsymom.com, how do you actually make money? You mentioned she does make money on the site, but I didn't see any affiliate links. And what would you link to? You know?
In her particular case, if you go to the site, give it a few days till it goes live, or actually go to the older site, you'll still see it. If you click through, you're going to find product pages or pages of content that have been written that have product recommendations in there for moms who need certain things to deal with kids. Plus, there's a lot of AdSense on that site. AdSense is any affiliate managers in here? I apologize to you, but I'm going to just say something fun right now. AdSense is not the poor second cousin to affiliate programs. AdSense is amazing. AdSense pays out billions of dollars in commissions every year. So in some cases, for some sites, AdSense is a perfect fit. With the types of pages that we're showing, where you've got a page of content where you're focused in on a product and you've written a nice review, perfect place for affiliate link. But if you've got a website that's more general in nature, more general in content, there's not a lot of focus, it's a great site for AdSense.
Okay, thank you.
Ebook. Oh, and she wrote a book called Getting Adam Back. There's some other ways she's monetized the site. It's more of a blend again. She's got an ebook called Getting Adam Back, A Mother's Triumph Over Epilepsy and Autism. And she's just turning the site into a membership site as well.
Hi there. Thanks. Nice job on the speech. But on the outsourcing, what I find is that when I have a larger project, like I can't find good tech help. I don't know where to go. I live in a major city. I live in Chicago, but I find it really, really hard to find people to do really the custom projects, the big projects, the 200-hour projects. They'd much rather build a 5-page WordPress site for somebody and bang them out. Is there a forum, a community to go for these type of projects? On Elance, crickets, on the other places? Because, like I said, it's much easier for these guys to take a 5-page WordPress site, $600, whatever they're charging these days, than to take something like this on, as excited as they sound about it. We can do anything.
Have you tried Elance?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so
Odesk, Elance, I've tried them all. No, I've tried everything. I've been to India. I've been around the world and back.
Why don't you talk to me after the session about that?
Absolutely.
I'll give you some what we've learned on that.
I was just hoping there's like a public community of people that do.
Have you
these.
tried vWorker?
No, I haven't tried vWorker.
vWorker's much more tech. Like they're software programmers. And we outsource to India for all our software development. We've got a team going over there right now that are amazing. And they've been working on our project for months and months and months.
It seems to me that with India that it's like if you have the right people there that you can't get it done. But to me, I send money over to India. It's just $4,000 that's tacked onto the 20 that I end up spending on the project in the end.
Okay.
So.
One other thing I was going to mention too, we host an affiliate marketers boot camp for new people, and we're kicking one off this month. If you'd like to, and it's in our online conference room. It's over 10 weeks. It's really good. It's amazing, actually. We're going to do a draw for it for 2 free seats for a 10-week course. So if you'd like to give Arlene your business card, she'll be happy to put you in the bucket. And if you'd like to attend it, let her know, and we'll do the draw. Okay. So any other questions, sir? Okay.
I'm trying to choose between podcasting and video. So I want to know, what are some of the disadvantages and advantages of both? For me, video is a little hard to edit, and I'm not technical in that way. Podcast is a lot easier, but I feel like video is a little bit more personal. So just want to get your thoughts on that.
My thoughts on that are I much prefer podcasting, like big time, because one thing with video, you actually have to sit in front of your screen and watch it. And unless you're interacting with somebody else on the screen, it's just audio anyway. So a lot of videos on YouTube that is just a talking head, I just hit the play button, then I open my browser, go back, and I don't watch it anyways. So the other thing with interviewing people on video is we're so conditioned to see high quality video through the television with professionals that have trained for years to look and act and respond properly. And maybe you've got that, but the guests don't. And the guests are very timid. It's hard enough to get some people on to do an audio. Putting them in a video would be even more difficult. Not impossible. But podcasting, the beautiful thing about it is they can play it in their car. They can play it in their heads. I've heard stories. James, I was listening to your podcast and I was climbing this mountain. They're on an airplane. They're in their car. They're in their boat. They're on their holiday.
Well, on a traffic level, what about YouTube compared to like an iTunes RSS feed or something like that?
When compared to which?
Like an iTunes podcast feed. I mean, do you get more traffic from YouTube or from iTunes or from Blueberry?
In our particular case, we get more traffic from the audio, but probably only because it's been our primary focus by far.
But what site? Like Blueberry or Geekcast?
Blueberry. Yeah. So for podcasting, and it deals with video too, so it does both. So it's Blueberry. So spell Blueberry, but just take out the E's. BLUBRRY. It's a free WordPress plugin for podcasting. And again, if you want that audio on podcasting, just give Arlene your card. We'll get a whole little free course out to you. It's really good. All right, I think we got time for maybe one more. Oh, we got 5 minutes. Okay. Any other questions? Could you just say that a little louder? Yeah. So the technology like WordPress? Are we talking the tracking technology of the networks? Okay, so I do know a fair bit about it. Of course, it's critical for us that when we're sending traffic to a merchant, if it's passing through a network, we want to make sure it's solid and it's in place. And how does it work? Maybe, why don't we do this, because I'm having real trouble hearing you. Can you come up and see me after? Or head over to the mic.
Your perspective on the affiliate side, from a merchant or advertiser looking to get into some of the networks like a CJ or some of those. Is there ones you recommend or certain things you look for, or from the affiliate perspective of why you would join one or the other, or in that perspective?
I think probably before you look at which network, you want to have a look at how are you going to interface with the network. Are you going to hire an OPM, an outsourced program manager, an agency, and then get their guidance on that, because some of them work better with others. Personally, I love ShareASale from a network point of view.
What was the name again?
ShareASale.
Okay, ShareASale.
ShareA Sale. ShareASale. And there's a lot of great networks out there. Impact Radius is another one, which is the team that formally put together Commission Junction.
Okay.
Leading edge, cutting edge technology.
And that last one was Impact Radio?
Impact Radius. ImpactRadius.com.
Radius, okay.
Radius, yeah, Radius. All right. All right, guys, you've been great. Thanks so much, huh?